All right, well, thanks for everybody for showing up on a Friday afternoon, and thanks again to Red Cloud for giving us an opportunity to update you on our story after having presented here last fall. I'm going to focus today on probably the two most important things that we've done in the last several months, which really are going to become the key catalyst for our strategy in 2024. For the lawyers in the room, I will be making forward-looking statements. Denarius was formed back in 2021 with a focus on looking at in-demand critical minerals. Since we did this presentation last fall, we've actually added to our list of strategic metals that we will be producing from our projects going forward. We've added nickel, cobalt, palladium, and platinum. So we've expanded the list. I'll take you through the projects in this presentation, and particularly what we're doing to bring those to life and into production within the next 2 years, including our first project coming into production this year. We always make our decisions on where we want to operate based on favorable proximity. We look for high-grade projects. Our team, as you'll see, is very seasoned in mine building and has the in-country experience to bring the mines into operation, including the very difficult parts, which everybody acknowledges, the permitting part. As was mentioned in one of the earlier presentations, having a social license to operate is important. Our team has got lots of experience on that, and we're certainly incorporating those in our projects. So we've got 4 projects. 3 of them are in Spain. We think Spain's a great jurisdiction to do business in as part of the European community. Spain is focused on strategic critical minerals and is promoting those projects that are focused on bringing those to production. And we also have a project in Colombia, one that we had not really counted on doing very much with in the formation of the company, since at that time IAMGOLD was drilling it, and we were expected to have a 30% carried interest. But with changes at the IAMGOLD prioritization a couple of years ago, we have had 100% of the project in our control, and this is going to become our first producer this year. We have an experienced team led by Serafino Iacono. He's a mine builder that puts his money where his projects are. He's put together a team that includes not only myself, I've been working with him for about 20 years now. Alessandro Cecchi, our VP Exploration, has got considerable success in his career, not only in resource discovery and definition and expansion, but in certainly putting together a great team that helps us to bring those projects forward when we can start mining them. We've also assembled a team where we've got in-country experience in both Spain and Colombia to be able to get these projects going, and a focus on ESG with the direction coming from our corporate ESG manager, Sasha Veloza. We're currently listed on the TSX Venture Exchange and also on the OTCQX. We've got 63 million shares outstanding, of which about 24% is in the hands of management and directors, Serafino being the largest individual holder. And if you follow his SEDI filings, he's also one of the most active in the market, adding to his position on a week-to-week basis to support the stock. He truly believes in the value and the upside of the share price in this company, and that's why he's putting his money behind it. We also have a $20 million convertible debenture that we issued last October. It's unique in a couple of criteria, and yesterday we announced that it's going to be listed on the CBOE Canada exchange for trading starting on Monday morning. It's unique in the sense that it puts a gold-linked feature onto a traditional convertible debenture. It converts at 45 cents, but until you convert during the 5-year term, we've got a 12% coupon, and we're paying that out on a monthly basis, which we find investors appreciate more to get that money every month. But we've taken a twist from some gold notes that we did, and West Red Lake Gold has just announced that they're doing a gold note that's modeled after what we used to do in Gran Colombia. In our case, we're taking a position where we will give a gold premium to our holders starting in the second year, so starting January 2025. We will pay a kicker on each quarterly interest payment of the upside on gold above $1,800 US. So that works out on an annualized basis for every $100 gold's above $1,800 to about an extra 6% on your annual return. So it's a great little product. It did well, And we're looking at whether or not we use another one to help us fund one of the projects I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. And that's the AGA Blanca Project. This was a game changer for us that we got into December 1st last year. We'd been looking in Spain at how we were going to take our Lamero project, which is in the Iberian Pyrite Belt, to the next level as we were doing our studies and options for how we were going to process material. We were introduced to the shareholder group of the Rio Narcia assets, once owned by Lundin. It's the only nickel mine in Spain and one of the few in Colombia. It also produces a significant amount of copper. It's been dormant since 2015 when it was shut down while Lundin was getting their environmental permits for underground mining up to date, and then abandoned by Lundin later on when commodity prices fell. We got into this project in December in a transaction where we've agreed to pay 25 million euros for a 50% interest in the project. And what we like about it as a strategic fit for us is two critical things. One, it comes with a 5,000 ton a day turnkey plant. This 5,000 ton a day plant is good enough for us to process both the material from Agua Blanca, the underground mine on site, and also now gives us a place to bring the material from Lamero, which is what we were trying to solve for last year. It's the missing link in the strategy that we were trying to solve for. It's 88 kilometers away from Lamero, so trucking's not going to be a major cost for us, and it allows us to treat Lamero now as a mining-only complex and adapt the Rio Narcia plant to handle materials coming from both. So this is a very great acquisition for us. It allows us now to move our strategy in Spain forward. The plant had an investment of over 45 million euros in it when it was put together. It's still in great shape. The shareholder group over the years since Lundin walked away has been keeping it under great care and maintenance. Our initial audit of the plant when we were getting into the acquisition showed very well, and we're now getting going on a detailed assessment of the work that we're going to have to do to bring it back into operation. Currently, it looks like it's going to take about $4 or $5 million US investment in the plant, probably about 4 to 6 months, and then we'll be up and running. The nice thing about this project for us as well, from a permitting side, is that the mine permits for underground are already in place, and the environmental impact study for the operating plant is also in place. The only permit that we need going forward relates to getting the water concession so we can start dewatering the underground mine. The existing underground mine at the plant was already developed by Lundin before they departed. It has a 2-kilometer ramp that descends into an underground operation where they developed about 5 levels of the underground mine. It is underwater, so as I said, we need to dewater it. And once we get into dewatering it in a couple of months' time, after that dewatering is complete, we'll be able to do the assessment of what it's going to take to get that up and running. But we think that once we start dewatering, we're on about a 12-month path to production from the underground mine at Agua Blanca. Now, when Lundin was operating it, it was producing about 8,000 tons a year of nickel and about 6,000 to 7,000 tons a year of copper. 0.6% nickel grades and 0.4% copper grades. Here you can see the historic resource for the underground area that was put together about a year ago by the shareholder group that we've bought in with. They put a technical study together with 6.4 million tons of measured and indicated material at about 0.6% nickel, so very consistent with what was mined over the 11 years that they mined the open pit, and 0.56% copper. Also a little bit above what was mined over the years that Lundin was mining the project. We're currently working with Resource Development Associates, the technical firm led by Scott Wilson and his group. They are putting a pre-feasibility study together at the moment. We expect to have the results of that by the end of March, and the full-blown written technical report within about 45 days after that. So this project is going straight to PFS because of the infrastructure and everything that's there. It did have reserves and PFS available during Lundin's time, so it's ahead of the curve as far as projects go, and one that we can be up and running with about a 2,500 ton a day operation in 2025. And that's important for us because of what we're doing at Lamero. Lamero is a tremendous project that we bought back in April 2021, and it's located in the Iberian Pyrite Belt, as I said, less than 100 kilometers away from Agua Blanca. It sits right in the center towards the upper part of the belt, in between a number of high volume producers. It's the largest concentration of massive sulfides, so we're in the right direction for polymetallics. A little bit more of a zoom in look at the trend. We sit about 10 kilometers to the west of the Aguatanitas mine that's owned by Sandfire Matsa. Sandfire paid $1.8 billion a couple of years ago to buy the Matsa mines, of which that's one of them. That mine started production in 2009 with about 2 million tons a year, and it goes down about 800 meters. The Lamero Piatos title, which you can see in the middle, is an investigation permit, and I'll draw your attention to the little pink part right dead center. That's the outline of the historic producing mine in the title. It only goes down about 400 meters. And adjacent to our Lamero Piatos title, you can see the Palmarejo investigation permit, which is something that we were able to reinstitute last year with the local mining authority. So now we have a 3-year period that we can start exploring that area of the title. We've got over 600 hectares of position there in the title. And just to the west, about 3 kilometers away, you can see the dormant San Telmo mine. So it's got good pedigree as far as polymetallics. It's got a great database of exploration information, which we've really worked at drilling over the years. And we've put about 47,000 meters of drilling into it to validate and verify, as well as infill drill. What looks like Moby Dick is the overlay outline of the historic mine. The green in the part represents the indicated resources in the middle of about 7.7 million tons at almost 2% copper equivalent, and the inferred, the blue area, 3.5 million tons at 1.5% copper equivalent. The one feature of the Lamero project we're continuing to work on the metallurgical recoveries related to is the gold content, which is one of the highest gold contents of projects of this nature in the belt. Later this year, after we complete a PEA on the Lamero project, which is expected in the second quarter, we'll then get back to some greenfield drilling, extending the drilling to the east and the west of that red zone, which is the known historic mine, and also going at depth to look for extension of it below the 400-meter mark. The Terrell project, it's an option agreement we got into. It's a high-grade zinc, lead, silver project in the north of Spain. We're buying into up to 80% of this project over the next couple of years with an exploration program. We've gotten through our first year. We're now working on an update of the resource based on last year's 7,000 meters of drilling, and we will have a PEA on that project a little later this year. But I got about a minute and a half left, and I want to talk about the Zancudo Project. This is our near-term producer. This project is in the Cauca Belt with the Buritica mine to the north and the Marmato mine that we operated to the south. You got about 1,000 hectares of title. The good news, if you looked at our press release yesterday, we do have the mining permits for us to be able to move forward imminently, and by April we expect to have the environmental permit. Then we can commence mining. We've got about 4 million tons, a million-ounce deposit, a million-ounce gold equivalent deposit. We are starting a 10,000-meter drilling program in March so that we can expand and infill this resource and convert to indicated, and we expect to come together with a PFS by the end of the year after that drill program. We've got a 10-year project ahead of us. We'll have a concentrate plant that we've ordered and is being shipped to Colombia between March and May. It'll start operating and producing high-grade gold, silver concentrates by the end of December. And in 2025, that mine will be fully into production and generating over $20 million US a year of cash flow to this company. Progress is great. And I think with that, I've used up my time slot.